Hey,
Sup?
sup, bro? What's in that room back there?
Oh! Funny you should ask. Here, let's do it this way. Let me put my coffee
I'm gonna
down.
leave all this in.
Yeah. Should we do it? It's like MTV Cribs, man. Well, this is where all the magic happens.
As I mentioned in my previous video, I went out to LA to shoot some of these videos, and today's video I am extra excited about because it's my good friend Jake. Jake was nice enough to let me come check out his studio. He's already done a fabulous home studio tour on his channel. If you're not subscribed already, go check out Jake Reed's YouTube channel. It's awesome. And Jake is an incredibly talented, super pro session drummer, and his wife Kait, you guys are both amazing. Like she's keyboard, piano, synth. She does all kinds of stuff. They have a band called Trio Kait. Jake just put out a record called Read Between the Lines. They're just crushing it. I'm super impressed. So thank you, Jake and Kait, for having me over and letting me go through all your stuff and show everyone how you make your magic. It's you guys have a really special thing going. I also want to give a big shout out to Distrokid for sponsoring this video. Thank you, Distrokid. You guys have massive support on this channel. Really appreciate it, guys. If you're not using Distrokid, they will help you take your tracks and make them available for anyone to find on Spotify, Apple Music, all the different platforms. They also have a really great tool called Teams. So let's say you just made a track with another artist or another collaborator and you don't know how to split up the percentages, or you just don't know what you're doing. You can use their Teams feature to add unlimited collaborators to the tracks. You can change the splits for the track at any time. You can add or remove collaborators at any time. And for privacy, collaborators can only see the percentage that they get. They can't see who your other collaborators are or what percentage the other folks are getting. Your release will not be delayed if your collaborators are slow to sign up. Instead, Distrokid will just hold the money for them until they join. If your collaborator never joins, you can easily cancel the invite and reallocate the money elsewhere, or just keep it yourself. And as always, Distrokid never takes a cut. You and your collaborators keep 100% of the earnings in total. If that sounds valuable to you, you can use my link in the description. It is distrokid.com/VIP/masters. With that link, when you sign up, you will get 7% off your first year's membership. Thank you, Distrokid, so much for sponsoring the video. Now let's go over to Jake's house and check out all their cool stuff.
Hey, Boo Bam.
Hey, Jake.
What's up?
What's the deal with this door?
This door has a solid sheet of steel right in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
It's really heavy. It took like 3 guys just to lift it. And then when you close it, it has a little thing down here. See this little guy?
Oh yeah.
When you close it, there's like a thing that pops out and like goes into these grooves or whatever.
Wow.
So it basically soundproofs it. Watch this. Pretty quiet, right? He's screaming.
That was the most amazing sound I've ever heard.
Should we go in signal chain order? This is my drum set. I love this drum set. It's a 1980s Yamaha. This kit used to belong to one of my favorite people in the world, Peter Erskine, who I got to study with for 5 years. I was his teaching assistant at USC, so that was a really fun time. But this was his kit back in the day. If you watch his super awesome instructional video from the 80s, this is the kit he was using.
Did you design this room?
No. One of my friends, his name's Dave Pepin. He's got a studio building company in town. This room was unfinished when we moved in. So it was just like a normal, like whatever stock door that came with the room. The window was like tiny. This fabric was not here. This was all cinder block. It's all cinder block behind here.
Wow.
The bass trap was not there. It was an unfinished room. Like from the set, like shag carpeting. I guess it was sort of finished, but they did the fabric on the wall to kind of help with the flutter stuff. And, you know, they kind of put up some bass traps to help any sort of like standing waves that might be in here. And then recently, this cloud here and this bass trap are a different fabric because these are new additions to the room. And this cloud is a game changer. All you guys at home that are like trying to build your home studios, if you have any space above your kit to put a cloud, I highly recommend it because it just it just tightens everything up. It, like, the stereo image is very clear because there's not like a lot of reflections happening. I'm also I kind of model it. I was just talking to Keith Armstrong about this the other day. I kind of model my setup in here after like East West Studio 3, you know, it's like, which is like a long, narrow room. And then I put the drums in the corner, which is sort of like the spot for that room.
Of course.
As you know. And for me, it's just like, the drums just sound really good over here. I used to have them kind of where the marimba is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so that's like one thing I always recommend to anyone trying to set up their home space is move your drums around your room and just see where the drums sound the best. See where your drums sound the best in your room. And for this room, you know, just like the kick drum in this corner like this, and I got the room mics as far away as I possibly could, whereas, you know, before, with the drums facing this way, it basically put the kick drum like in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
So it made it really tough to...
So practically and logistically, this also is better.
Yeah.
But it sounds better too.
It's got a nice energy flow to it.
Okay, so this is drum zone.
So this is drum zone.
Control room. Drum zone, control room.
It's the same room.
It's the same room. It's like my room. That's what my room is.
It is. It's the same thing. That's kind... I mean, I know guys that have a separate control room and it works great for them. They, you know, that they can actually have an engineer come over and the engineer's in a separate room getting drum sounds.
Listening.
For me, I've just never had that luxury.
It's too much walking.
It's a lot of walking. But the drawback is you literally have to sit down, record the drums, go over, listen back to it, then think like, oh, what do I need to adjust? Then come back over here, make more adjustments, then go back.
Yep.
You know, so it's like this back and forth, whereas like if you have a control room, you know, the engineer can just see, hey, can you just play a beat for like half an hour and I'll sit in here and dial everything in.
Yes.
Which is way better.
Way better.
Right? But I don't do that. You know, it's fine. I have to say my most recent purchase, which is a game changer, is I just bought a second keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard. I only had one keyboard before.
Yeah.
Now I got two.
Game changer.
So I can just sit over here. I don't have to, there's not a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. I just pick mine up and set it over here.
I know, but see, I'm usually in such a hurry that I forget to bring it over, and then I'm like, but this, I just leave it here, and it's fine. I don't care. It works perfectly.
So you've got your listening station, lounge station.
This is where all the famous people sit. I used to have chairs in here, and it kind of got crazy. So now I can just sit here
and do therapy
and do my own therapy.
So you're primarily doing drum stuff, but for personal projects, you're also recording more than drum stuff.
Yes. Well, my wife's a fantastic pianist and keyboard player. But yeah, mostly I'm just doing drums here. That's pretty much all people hire me to do. Sometimes I prefer to do it this way, is, you know, a bass player can come over and, you know, sit here and we can track drums and bass at the same time. There's room in here to like have one, we've done trio sessions in here where it's like maybe we bring a Rhodes in and then they're like electric bass. So we're all tracking in the same room. This is the drum cave.
Holy cow.
I kind of try to keep things organized, you know, kick drums down here, toms here, all the different kits just kind of ready to go. Something I found that works well for me in terms of just drums is I sort of have like different sounds ready to go. So like if I'm doing like something that is like the like super dead kit, funky sound, like I sort of have that kit ready to go. Or if I need like more of the open like rock, like Bonham thing, or whatever you want to call that. I have that sort of like ready to go as well.
Yes.
And then I have like a couple of varying degrees in either direction that are just sort of like, okay, drums have their tones, right? Like we love drums for how each kit sounds individually, but for me and like my workflow and like what I get, because I get called to do a lot of different types of songs, right? So it's like I don't really have much time to like sit there and like always be retuning the same drum set.
Yes.
So I like to just have it ready to go if possible, which is why I mean, this has been working for me recently, so I just do it this way. You know, like this drum like doesn't have a hole in the front head, so it kind of gets that bottom thing, which is, you think like this drum would do that because it's the Vistalite kit.
Wow.
Right? But it just doesn't work that way for me. So I just sort of have like different things ready to go. Like this kit, this bass drum doesn't have a front head at all. So I can just throw a pillow in there and get the super punchy dead thing happening real fast. This Camco kit, which is just, beautiful.
So how many kits do you think you have acquired over your career?
I don't know. Let's count them.
I don't know.
I think I only have like 7 or 8 kits. I have this 50s round badge kit, which is 3-ply. For me, I have them tuned wide open, but you could, for like rock stuff.
Yes.
But you could certainly tune them up a little bit, and they work great for jazz. These are like sizes that like Philly Joe Jones would use, like in the 50s. 22-inch kick drum.
13, 16.
13, 16. This is a 12 and 14, which work great for like if you want to tune up the drums like bebop, like Max Roach or something. But they work great if you tune them down and take the bottom heads off. For me, it's all about just getting sounds with what drums I have, And if you just know how to sort of tune and muffle, then you're controlling pitch and note length, right? So that's why I just have all these drums set up this way. But that's that round badge kit. My other round badge kit is this 60s Gretsch round badge in gold satin flame. This kit also used to belong to Peter Erskine, and he got it from Steve Maxwell's shop in New York. And Peter basically, he got it to use on the Pink Panther soundtrack. So here's my face. So if you ever watch the newer Pink Panther movies with Steve Martin, this was used, I think, on the Pink Panther 2.
Wow.
It's a little different from the 50s round badge because as opposed to the 50s round badge, the 60s round badge is a 6-ply shell. Great sound, just a little different of a sound, right?
Yeah.
Not quite as like, I don't know, open, like low open, a little more punchy because of the thicker shell.
Wow.
This is my wall of snares.
This is this is a dream. Heads, cymbals, crazy percussion.
Rototoms.
Hey,
I got albums for sale.
Read between
the lines. It's my REED, between the lines. I know.
That's your last name?
Yeah. Do you get it?
Wait.
I recorded all this at home in the studio. With the exception of like maybe one guitar overdub. But anyway.
That's amazing. Yeah, that record is super awesome.
Thank you.
Watch your head.
So, you have no idea how many times I've hit my head on that.
Yeah, that's for you, right?
That's really for me. My wife,
okay,
like we said, is there's a corgi in here.
This is a nice room.
Yeah, come on in.
This is the opposite.
Come in. This is keyboard layer.
Wow.
So
look at all these goodies.
Most of these came from our friends up at Custom Vintage Keys in Burbank. Yeah, this guy's awesome. Vintage mini Moog.
Just for the kids at home.
Do you know the capital of Alaska? Remember that joke? Mellotron. Some other. Oh, I got the Casio.
Do you know the models of these things?
No.
Okay.
Here's all you need to know about this. See, it's just that sound. Listen to that vibrato.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, that's that. This is the newer Mellotron that they started making again. It's like, it's a digital version of all the, it's not like a real one, obviously, because it works. But I'm just kidding. But it sounds amazing, and it has like all these, all the different models of Mellotron in it. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
It's like kind of small. Yeah, the Juno.
Roland Juno.
Yep.
Sick. That's a big popular in the hip hop world.
This thing sounds awesome. We love it. Got it from a guy up in Altadena. We're in Pasadena, but yeah. Love it. Our Rhodes.
Vintage Rhodes.
1976, I think. Whatever the best year for him is, that's what we got. Whirly 20, what's it, 200A or whatever they're called.
Guys, I'm not the person.
I am not a keyboard guy, but
two drummers trying to talk about
all you guys out there. I'm pretty sure this is a 200A.
Let us know in the comments. OB6.
OB6. Yep. Yeah.
This just looks fun.
This is a great instrument. This is probably, she has this closest to the computer because it's the best one. Because you can use it for everything. It's got it all going on.
So, second rig. This is Kait's rig.
This is Kait's rig, my wife. And she's probably even more importantly.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
What kind of desk is this?
I was about to say, shout out to my friend. He's on, you find him on Instagram. Adam Kriskow is his name. He's an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
Killer drummer. Does really cool gigs. Amazing. He's a super nice guy. And he builds these amazing desks. Like this is made out of walnut. But he custom builds desks for, mostly people here in LA, but I don't know if he ships them at all. You have to hit them up.
You got some A7Xs in here too.
Those used to be mine. Kait took them from me.
Tight. Shout out to Adam.
I had no choice. Basically, she's doing like keyboard stuff all the time.
Yep.
Or, if she puts some mics up here.
Oh, look at this.
Oh yeah, for this old C3. There you
go. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a nice punchy, poppy piano. As opposed to the one we have upstairs, which is like, a little darker.
Dark and beautiful.
Which we can show you that room in a little bit.
What mic is this?
This is a Cathedral Pipes St. John Baptiste something or other. But they make these down in Torrance. I used to use this as like a front kick mic, but it's a great vocal mic too. And Kait does some vocals for stuff, so.
So, since we're in here real quick, on her rig, she's running Logic on a Mac Mini.
She's got a Mac Mini.
Apollo X Twin.
Yeah. And then we got this really, dude, here's a really gear nerd thing for y'all.
Is that the Neve? DI?
This Neve DI. Got this from Sweetwater. This thing is rad. This thing just sounds amazing. And it has phantom power, so it's like active and whatnot. But
That's
it just,
cool.
the way it was explained to me is, and you probably know more about this than I do, and probably all the keyboard people out there do too. Because it's active, it basically takes all these old, keyboards that are past, this is nothing. It's a Rhodes. And it just like basically makes it sound a lot better, Nice. This is the upstairs. First thing to note is it's completely opposite of the downstairs.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful sound.
So we've recorded brass ensembles up here, string quartets. It's a nice sounding room for that. And Kait has her other piano set up here that she's had since she was, 4 years old?
Wow.
C5? Yamaha? Yeah. And then we got the Mojave MA1000s.
Yeah.
Here, I'll take off the
Protection.
Am I allowed to say microphone conference? This is Kait's Zoom setup.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Kait does Zoom lessons up here. This is our. You can buy the stand on Sweetwater for. It comes with the gaff tape.
At first, I was like, "Yeah, this is a CCO."
Whoa, nope. So that's how Kait teaches Zoom lessons.
Third rig.
And then we have a third rig. Yeah, another Apollo twin right there.
Yes.
So Kait can record up here when I'm downstairs bashing away. Check it out back here real quick, huh? Boom. So when we moved in, we had our studio builders run a 12-channel snake up to our living room, and that's what makes it possible to record
up
the
here.
Huge drums in the real big room when needed.
Yeah.
But I've kind of figured out how to do it basically downstairs in my room.
Yeah.
If you watch my here's how to get huge drums sounds in a small room or whatever I call the video, which watch that video, or you can just We can also do it up here in the real thing if we need to.
Yeah, no,
it just takes like 3 extra hours of setup. So yeah, that's this room. When I did my trio album, I set up my little kit right here. Mm-hmm. My little bebop kit was set up right here. Bass player was over there.
I remember seeing those stories.
Guitar player sat right here. And with the amp, everything was in the same room.
Yeah.
We just put a mic on the upright bass, mic the guitar amp right there, minimal miking on the drums, like 3 or 4 mics on the drums right here. And so that way it kind of sounded like an old record, you know? It was like we were all in the same room, there was a lot of bleed.
Yeah.
And I like that sound, you know?
What kind of computer are you using?
I'm using a Mac Mini 2018.
Sick.
64 gigabytes.
Sick.
Of RAM. 3 point something other. I'm using Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Sick.
Pro Tools, bro.
What kind of interface are you using?
Here, come on down here. This is a vintage 1980s Yamaha Throne that came with this kit that I got from Peter. It's really heavy. Okay, interfaces. I got 2. These are out of date now, obviously. Doesn't matter. Apollo 8Ps. So I'm running 16 channels of, you know, microphones for drums.
Yep.
What else have we got? We got some outboard pre's here.
Yep. Are you exclusively using outboard pre's?
No, I'm not. All the mics there are coming over here into the computer. The files are in the computer. Okay, so my 2 kick mics. Kick in, if you want to zoom in there. You can. Kick in, kick out are my first 2 guys. These are BAE 1073 style 500 series pre's. Yeah, that Coles mono overhead is coming over here into this Manly tube preamp. And it's just, I'm not hitting it too hard or anything. It's just a nice, it's like a, you know, it's kind of old sounding because it's a tube pre.
Yeah.
It's an old ribbon mic. It's going through the cloud lifter, so you're getting a lot of that noise floor out of there. But it's going through this distressor, right? Which is more of like obviously a modern compressor, you know, and so it's hitting that distressor, and not a crazy ratio or anything. I'm not smashing it too hard, but it's definitely adding some smack to that sound. That AKG 451 over there on the snare through this 1176, just to kind of get a nice colorful sound as opposed to like just a 57 going through. Snares, these 2 Neve 1073 pre's 500 series. 90% of the sound that I've been able to get is literally the way I tune the drums and the way I hit them. That's all, because that's all I know how to do really. And I'm sort of, you know, capturing them as cleanly and clearly as I can. So the 2 rack toms, I have 2 414 BULSs from the 80s on the rack toms there, and they're going through these JLMs, which is basically like a Neve style. Overheads are going through these API 512s because I'm just trying to keep them really clean, crispy sounding, which is what those are good for.
Sweet.
Then the next 4 pre's, which aren't even here because they're not outboard pre's, I'm just using the built-in Apollo
Unison pre's, yeah.
Yeah, on the 2 floor toms, I'm just using. They're really clean.
Built-in pre's, yeah.
They're really clean sounding built-in pre's.
That's great. Hi-hat.
Hi-hat
rooms
is next. Again, built-in pre, just because it's a hi-hat mic. Who cares? Doesn't need much.
Nobody cares.
Bottom snare mic.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah,
I just mute those anyway.
Low cut. Exactly, but I record them for, again,
yeah.
When I send people mixes, like just a reference mix of what my drums sound like, I usually end up muting hi-hat mic anyway.
Yeah.
But
you can hear it.
But so many people want it. They want that mic. So that's those pre's. And then there's 2 more here. The room mics are going, so I have 2 AEA N8s, which I don't know if you've gotten a shot of that yet, on their Blumline style, because it's kind of a small room, so I just know that they're perfectly in phase that way.
Yep.
Side note, that's why most of the time I'm doing the XY overheads.
Yep. Phase.
So these 2 N8s, AEA N8s, are going through 2 AEA RPQ 500 pre's.
Oh yeah.
And this is probably like for me, the coolest thing about these pre's is, you know, my room's kind of small, and it's kind of dark sounding in here because of the carpet and fabric everywhere, which is great because it knocks down the flutter effects and all that kind of stuff. So I end up putting in this high frequency boost. So like with these RBQ 500s, you can choose which frequency you want, or like where you want the shelf to start.
Yep.
And I actually end up adding, I don't know how much that is, but it sounds good right there. That's all I have. I just use my ears. So I'm actually putting in high end to these dark ribbon mics that I'm using as room mics.
And they sound like butter.
And it sounds good. That's why I do it. But wait, there's more. So this is something I stole. I shouldn't say steal. I didn't steal it. This is an idea that I got from one of my favorite drummers, Aaron Sterling, right?
I love you, Aaron.
I didn't steal it. But he's been a huge influence on me and a really nice person to talk to about how to record stuff. And I'm deeply, deeply grateful for his knowledge and experience. But what I do is I just take this mic, that Coles mic right there, and run it through this tube preamp. And then it's going into these guitar pedals.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, via this reamp box.
Yeah.
And it's great because, like, this, it just adds so much cool vibe. Let's see, do I even have a session open right now with it?
Delay, reverb.
So what I did, that's that one mic. This is one mic in my room. It's this Coles, so it's nice and dark and vibey. And it's kind of, honestly, it's going through that tube pre, and it's kind of getting overly saturated a little bit to my ears. Maybe that's not even what's happening, but that's what it sounds like to me. But I just had it going through this echo rec pedal, and I just basically timed the slapback reverb on this pedal just by basically clapping my hands in the room and time aligning it with the click. So it's going through this echo rec and then through this Blue Sky Strymon reverb. And that's just this one mic in the room. And it sounds amazing, and it just helps add some depth to the drum sounds when I need that. Because again, it's a small room.
Yeah.
It's very forgiving on crash cymbals, right? It's not like, because it's a dark mic to begin with. Again, not much to do with plugins. Has everything to do with microphone choice, drum tuning, cymbal choices, and I'm not hitting the crap out of the cymbals, right?
Yes. Drummers, if you're in the studio, please ease up, bro.
Kick drum! You want to get in here?
No.
Can you get in there?
No.
Okay. EV, Electro Voice. ND868 is what I use for my kick in mic. I have a D112 that I use sometimes. I have an old, a vintage D12 that I use sometimes. For whatever reason, I like this one. It has a little bit more, it's like modern and a little bit more scooped in a good way.
Okay.
You know, compared to like a D12.
Link in the description.
I like it. I got it for $75 on Reverb, and I use it more than anything else. But then I bought this reissue Neumann U47 FET, which didn't cost $75. But
that thing is incredible.
It sounds amazing. These are the reissues. They sound amazing. I know that they make like the Flea FET 47 or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Everyone's making their version of a FET. I just got the real one. It sounds awesome.
It's amazing, man.
Snare mics. Surprise. Huge surprise. SM57. Shure SM57 on the snare. AKG 451B.
Yep.
On the snare as well. And I got this one. You have to be careful. I had some vintage 451s, but they didn't have the pads on them. It was really hard to find the correct pads. But the new ones have these, like, you know, different pads that are just switches in there. Shure KSM 141. Great. These actually sound really good on snare too.
Oh, cool.
According to Rich Breen. And I've tried it on snare. It sounds awesome on snare. I just have it on hi-hat. Does what it needs to do. AKG 414, C414 BULSs. Got the 20 dB pads on these babies.
Yeah.
Because you have to on the close mics for toms. And so down here on the floor toms, these are Soyuz bomblets. I did a gig at the Blue Whale like maybe a year or two ago. And they were using these on the kick drum, and I thought, well, these are just smaller kick drums.
Yeah.
So why don't I just get these for my toms? And lo and behold, they sound awesome.
They look really cool.
And these are just some pads that you can switch in and out, you know. Amazing microphones. These sound really good on bass cabs. Overhead mics, DPA 4011s. Just nice, clean reference mics. Reference style mics, so they're very flat on the frequency spectrum. And then this is a Coles 4038 as a mono overhead. So it's sort of acting as like the opposite of this overhead pair. For anyone who cares, Sennheiser 441 on the bottom snare, kind of at the same angle and same distance as the top snare mics, because, you know, phase, bro.
Phase, bro.
These sound really good on bottom snares. I mean, there are other mics that people use on bottom snares. I like the 441s.
441s are just good mics.
These are AEA N8 ribbon mics. They sound awesome. They're dark ribbon mics. So again, on room mics, it's great because what ends up happening is I send out, you know, all my drum files to an engineer to get mixed, and they start compressing the living daylights out of the room mics, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what you do with rock and roll to make it sound bigger and add length to notes, right? You can use a reverb to get length from notes, or you can compress them and make the notes sound longer and bigger. But when you do that, what happens? The cymbals get louder, right?
Yes.
So how do you quell that cymbal harshness? Use dark mics on your room mics, if you can.
And of course, the Coles, that's the fun accessory mic going into the pedals sometimes.
Right.
Tell me about these speakers.
These are, I think they're VXTs?
Okay.
I think that's the actual, KRK VSTs? I don't know. They're big. These are 8-inch speakers.
Yeah.
And I used to have the ones that were in Kait's studio, the Adam A7Xs, which sounded good in here. And I got her these mics, or I got her these speakers.
Too big.
She didn't like them. They were too big for her.
Yeah.
So we swapped, and now these are in here, and they're awesome. Well, this is my xylophone. It's actually a xylorimba, technically. Down here I have a lot of my just percussion toys, cowbells, sleigh bells, anything you could possibly use on someone's shakers. I have rice in here. My new friend on Instagram, Morph Beats, look him up. Give me these cool weird. I love it. I love all the sounds. Every sound has its place.
Thanks in the intro.
Kick pillow. Look at this fabric. Corgis and kayaks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is nice.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You also have to see. I've done this in my video, one of my videos. I know, and people have seen it. But this is my own echo chamber down here.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Well, that's part of that. But you ready for this?
I'm ready. Oh my god.
Yeah, just put the mic right in there.
Look at this, guys.
That's fun. So sometimes I'll even put a mic in here when I want that sound.
Where can people find you, Jake?
I'm mostly on Instagram, Jake Reed Music. If you want to keep up with kind of what I'm doing on a somewhat daily basis.
What if I make music and I want you to play drums on it? How do I make that happen?
You can just go to my website, which happens to be jakereedmusic.com.
JakeReedMusic.com.
Hit me up on there. I've had people hit me up on Instagram. Just send me a message. We can figure it out. Those are like the two places I do stuff. I'm on Facebook and all that stuff too, but
Jake Reed, Read Between the Lines.
Read Between the Lines.
That's your record.
That's my record.
It's really good.
Check it out on my website.
Spotify.
Or on, on the Spotify.
Or you can just buy the vinyl and be really hip.
If you're into vinyl, I've got so many copies. Please. It's a million seller. I've got 1 million in the cellar.
Well, thank you for having me, and
Thank you. I'm just rambling.
it's good to see you, buddy.
Bring it in.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to this channel. Smash like. Go hire him. Have a good day.
Should I look at you or the camera? The general rule in show business, don't look at the camera.
Yeah, I would say just look at me, I guess.
Okay. Look into your eyes.
This department right here.
Looks good. That's a nice camera. Where'd you get that?
The internet.
Costco?